What's good is King Kai. So, in today's video is going to be a little bit different. So, I actually wanted to talk all about my journey, okay? So, this is going to be probably a pretty long video. So, if you can't stick through it, then I completely understand, but I wanted to take the time to tell you why and how I got to where I am today, right? Of course, I don't think I'm some kind of god or anything. I don't really think I'm like the tipping point or I'm at the top. But I have come unexceptionally long way from like where I started. So go ahead and grab your Pocky sticks because we're gonna be here for a while, all right? I made a bunch of bullet points because there's there's quite a lot to talk about, okay? But I was gonna start from the very beginning. So I wanted to tell you guys how I started or how I progressed my body, my mind state, myself as a person, that kind of stuff, okay? I'm gonna start with the my childhood first, okay? So there's actually not a whole lot to talk about here because I don't really remember my childhood that much. It's not like it definitely wasn't bad. I had a pretty good childhood, but it wasn't super memorable. It wasn't something that I'm like, oh man, I wish I could be a kid again. Hell no, I do not wish I could be. Negative, negativo. So I'm gonna start around middle school because that's where things actually started to cement themselves into my mind. So, sixth grade, if you're in UK, it might be different for you, or someone that's not America, but in America we have middle school, or there's elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college, okay? So, middle school starts at sixth grade. I was in sixth grade, and man, I actually hated my sixth grade year. Honestly, I started to hate school a lot when I got into middle school because I was getting a lot of like I was getting bullied a lot, and it was kind of hard to deal with, and I just felt like genuinely like upset. That's when I started to get a little jaded, when I wasn't really happy talking to people anymore. But sixth grade was kind of whack. Like I had friends, but again, they weren't really that friends. I don't really have anyone memorable to talk about until I got into like seventh grade. Because like before that, there were just people that I talked to like in my class. I just like looked around and picked someone. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you, right? But it wasn't that great. So at sixth grade, I got bullied. There was like this one guy. He was like cute. Dude was huge, right? And he would always like pick on me for whatever reason, and he threw a branch at me. So like I'm not joking. A tree branch. Like he tossed a tree branch at me, and he missed barely, but yeah, like this guy was like throwing stuff at me, and like he threw a tree branch at me, and I just felt like it just felt like trash. And yeah, like I was only at that school for 1 year, and then I eventually switched to a different school because I moved, like we moved houses. But I'm gonna start like in seventh grade. This is actually when I got bullied for like the first time, like really, really. And it was like this guy who was like the popular kid for whatever reason. He chose to pick me out of the crowd, and the entire school started to follow suit, right? And yeah, dude, it was tough. I felt so just like by myself and so alone and whatnot. It was kind of hard to deal with. And there are some people who would like come up to me and say, like they would like add on to it. They would like personally add on to the teasing because they thought it was funny. And I've said this before in another video, but they even made a Facebook page about me. They made a Facebook page like about my name misspelt, and they would just like go in there and talk smack. Like I got removed, but they would just like talk trash about me. And there was some anonymous message guy who messaged me, and he said that don't take it too seriously. It's just a joke. And I'm like, how am I supposed to not take this seriously? Like literally everyone's coming after me, and it's kind of hard to just ignore it, right? But it is what it is. There was another guy who also bullied me in seventh grade, and like he bullied me physically. So he would actually put his hands on me. He would like shove me around. I don't know why he picked me. I really don't understand why. But he picked me out of the crowd, and like he said, he didn't say anything. He just like started like putting his hands on me. But the first time that I fought back was when we were running the mile. So we were running the mile, and I'm not that good at running. Like, I was getting chubby because I stopped like caring. I just started eating, and I was a lot more sedentary because I was like sad, like because I was just by myself all the time, and people made fun of me a lot. So I was like, I gotta find comfort somewhere. So I found comfort in food and video games. But so I was getting chubbier, and it was hard for me to run the mile. And so when I was running, okay, so the way that we run our miles, right? There's like 2 laps around the track, and it was 2 laps around this grass field. So like you would run along the grass field, and then run across a blacktop onto the track, and then run the track a couple times, and then you run the grass field again, right? So all of that twice was a mile. And I was on the grass part, so I was running on the grass, and the area that I was in was kind of muddy, and I was trying my best to like see like what are the tactics so I can run faster or like run better. I didn't know that it has to do with my physical health. I didn't understand that, but I just thought that, okay, maybe if I do something, maybe if I hold my breath, then I can run better. Okay, that's a bad idea. Like for 1 second, I was like, no, that's a horrible idea. But so this guy who was bullying me, he decided to come up behind me, and he pushed me face first into the ground. And like my face landed into the mud. Like I said, it was in the grass area, and it was like kind of soft. And it recently rained, I think the day before that, so it was like muddy. And I saw him running down, and he was looking back at me like laughing. And I've never been like so enraged in my life. And I was watching him. I was watching him run, and like the dude was skinny, so like he was way faster than me. I'm not gonna be able to run after him. So I'm like, okay. And I picked myself up, and I'm like, okay. And I just tried again. Try to keep running. And then when we were done, we were sitting in the bleachers. So when we were done with the mob, we would sit in the bleachers, and we would try to like wait for all the kids to finish. And I saw this guy who pushed me over at the water fountain. I was looking at him, I was like staring at him, like getting angry. And then I sprinted over, and I punched him, right? I like socked him in his face. Again, like my face was like welling up with tears. I don't really remember what I saw. But I remember that I was just angry, like angry beyond belief. And I chased him around, and like a teacher eventually stopped us, saying like, "Oh, what happened? I hit him. Did you want to hit him?" Like, yeah, I wanted to hit him. That was the stupidest question I ever heard in my life. Did you want to hit him? Oh no! Like some specter took my hand and made me hit him by accident. Yes, I wanted to hit him, teacher, because he was bullying me, right? So like, ask me a stupid question again. That was so retarded. But anyway, that guy actually got suspended. So we got brought into the office, obviously, because it's confrontation, right? And then he said, or no, like the teacher told me that I'll only get detention because I'd never done anything bad ever. Like I had a clean record, but he got suspended. And his dad came in, and he was saying like, oh, see, we told you he was going to get messed up eventually if you kept playing, right? So he obviously does this a lot. Never saw him again. So he got suspended from that. But yeah, that's pretty tough. That's like basically the bullying part of my middle school. But around middle school is like when I discovered anime for the first time, and it was like such a comforting medium to indulge into. I don't know why, but it just felt like so relaxing to me. And my first anime ever was School Rumble. Like I still remember that show to this day. Like it's not that good. It's not that good of an anime, but it's always gonna have a special place in my heart. And that was like one of the first ones that I started watching. But around this time, where I discovered anime, I became like a pretty strong video game addict. Like I was heavily indulging in video games on the weekends. I couldn't play it during the week, but during the weekends I was always on the game because it was so hard for me to. It was hard for me to like just accept the world for what it was because like all I knew was like just getting messed with. So I'm like, no, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. So I spent a lot of time like watching anime and whatnot and playing video games and like playing Call of Duty Zombies and stuff like that with my cousins. So, and I was getting chubbier and I was getting like, man, like middle school sucked, dude. Like it was not it. But there's one good thing that did come of it. I did meet my friend Tashawn, but it's funny because Tashawn kind of annoyed me. When I met him, I'm like, this guy's annoying. Like, I just stopped talking to me. But again, like I said, I was angry, so I hated everything. So that's not really like his fault. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to talk to him that much. I just didn't really like it. I didn't really like to talk to him. But over time, I warmed up to him, and like he's one of my best friends now. But yeah, that's where I met him. So that's like the first time that I actually had a friend that I really enjoyed talking to. I had other friends, but they were like literally school friends. Like after I graduated, I don't really hear from them anymore. But you know, moving on into high school, like high school is actually when I discovered weight training. And I remember my dad told me that, like, hey, they're having football tryouts at the school. Because like, we live right down the street from the school that I was going to go to. And he said, they're having football tryouts. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, I guess. Like, I never really played football before. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I got on the football team. And I discovered weight training for the first time. So I was in the room with all these weights and all these people like clanking the barbells together, and I was like, what the hell? Like, what is all this? You know, looking back, that room is not as big as I thought it was, but that room was like huge in my head. Like as like a 14, 13-year-old, that room was huge. And like I learned how to weight train for the first time, and oh my god, bro, I squatted. Dude, my legs were done. My legs were donezo. Like it was impossible for me to go walk on the field, but you know, I'm very grateful that I decided to go to football because I would not have discovered weight training otherwise. So I got on the football team after doing the tryouts and whatever. I actually made it. A lot of kids got cut, and I actually made it. Not because I'm like physically gifted, literally because I didn't give up. And the coaches said that I was one of the kids that had heart, right? Like, you know, coaches say that, oh, you got heart, boy. That's a good thing. And I think that's a trait that I've carried along for a very long time, but I never really knew. But I wasn't really one to just like cave in when something was like harder. But it was hard for me like to stay consistent in things, but still. But man, when I was weight training, I was weak as hell, dude. Like it was so hard for me to like bench press the bar. Like the bar is not that heavy. It's not heavy at all, and I couldn't like I'm like shaking. Like this is tough, right? But man, I really liked it. But the thing is, I discovered when I was in high school that I did not like football. I did not like being here at all. Like I'm like, this is not really that fun to me. And like people always like try to come after me. Not people, but a couple guys on the football team would like target me on the field. And I'm like, you think you're special? Because I was the smallest dude on the team. I'm not tall. I'm short. I'm like 5'6". As far as shorter than them. And like I'm like, you think you're cool because you're targeting me? Like I'm the smallest dude. Go after that guy. Like who's huge. Oh no, you're not gonna do that now, are you? But you know, it is what it is. But around high school is when I discovered like having online relationships, right? So like meeting people online. I played like my first online game when I was like, I think when I was like in 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that. And I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii. Dude, I was playing Call of Duty with the Wii remote and nunchuck, bro. Like it was, I loved it. I was having so much fun, but that's what I was playing. And I made online friends that way, and I was talking to them, and I was like learning new stuff, like learning about new people. And this was such a great thing to me because I learned that I'm not by myself, and there are people who like the stuff that I like. And it was so comforting to go online and talk to people like that. You know, like parents would say that all you do is spend your time on that game, but I spent a lot of time on the games. But dude, it gave this sense of like importance and belonging that I've never had before. Like looking back, that's why I liked it so much, because I just felt like I was included for once. But yeah, so like next year I go into sophomore year. Sophomore year wasn't really that eventful. I can't really remember anything that much, but if you guys haven't noticed yet, I don't really remember that much from like me growing up. There's nothing really to remember. It was like kind of a blur. It was either like bad or like neutral. It wasn't like super great. Of course, like I didn't have a bad childhood, right? But the second I got exposed to like other people, it just felt like I was excluded all the time. Like for games and basketball and like dodgeball, whatever, I was always picked last. Like it was just, I didn't really even want to participate anymore because I know I wouldn't get picked. And if we played the game, I would just wait. I literally would step aside and wait and say like, okay, I'll just go to whatever teams has like the uneven number, because I was not gonna get picked. And I'm like, I don't even want to play this game anymore because I never got put on the team. No one really wanted me. And then if I got put on the team, I didn't get past the ball or anything like that. So when I got into playing video games online, I was like that guy that was able to do something. And that felt super, super good for once. But like sophomore year, I actually met my first girlfriend ever online. And it was a nice little relationship when I had it, but of course it was online, right? So like I live in California and she lived in Colorado. That wasn't gonna go nowhere. Like I think, actually I was like 15 and she was like 17, something like that. And we both were like kids with no money, so like that's not gonna go nowhere. That obviously didn't go anywhere. But I met her on Black Ops 2. I met her on Black Ops 2, and then like we started like hanging out a lot, and like she was like my online girlfriend for like 6 months, something like that. And like when we broke up, I was devastated. Oh, it like hurt my feelings, right? But junior year is actually when I think where my life started to decline a little bit more. Because okay, I'm actually gonna get a lot more vulnerable now because man, it wasn't very good. So around that's around the time like where I was having family issues and yeah, so like a lot of family issues happened and I was having a hard time like talking to either of my parents. And it got to a point where I got like so closed off and so like frustrated like with life. So like all the stuff was going on like in school, and then I went home and I had like my like family issues, right? And I'm not proud to say this, but I actually like pushed my mom over. And that was the first and last time I ever put my hands on my mom, but I'm being honest about it. I don't feel good about it at all, but I was so like angry and so like frustrated with everything that was going on, and like my parents weren't in the same house, so it was like it was really tough. Like we don't really talk about it now. It's like whatever. It's like in the past. I was a kid, but there was a lot going on in my head at the time, and I got like really frustrated and like god dang, it was tough. And that's around the time where I got deeper and deeper into video games. I'm like, this is literally like my safe space. And if I got pulled away from it, I got really upset. Like it was really hard for me to function outside of it because I was so addicted to the game. I didn't want to face the real world, dude. Because I'm like, it's painful out here. Like, if I go into the game and I'm playing like Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and I'm smashing people's face in with Yajirobe, right? I'm beating people with Yajirobe. I'd rather go do that than go back to the life of being a loser that I already know. I don't want to do it anymore. So like my parents pulled me away from the game, it would like frustrate me, not because like, oh, I want to play the game all day. It's just because it felt safe. Like it felt like that's where I needed to be. But I mean, it is what it is. But like I met another friend named William. Like I knew him personally in school, and he actually gave me a video game called Naruto Storm 2. Like you guys know like Naruto Shippuden. God, I love that game. Like I don't play it anymore, obviously, but that was like the biggest game I can think of in my head when I was in high school. It's like one of my favorites. And actually that's the game that I met Nico on. So like Nico was like actually probably one of my best friends, and like we would talk endlessly like about anything, right? And this is what I mean, like the internet actually gave me such a big like safe feeling because it provided something that I couldn't get in real life. I didn't know how to make friends like that. And the friends that I did have, I just injected myself into the friend group because I'm like, I don't know anyone else. So I'm trying to be friends with them. Even though I know deep down I don't relate to them. But like, who else am I going to go to? So like I found my friend Nico online. And it's funny because like he said that I sound like a depressed old man. But looking back, I was depressed. Like I didn't want to talk to anybody. And it was hard to do that. But you know, over time, I started talking to him more and more and more. And then we played Storm 3 for hours, all day. I stayed on that game for hours, right? Sun up to sundown. The second I woke up, beep. When I go to sleep, then I'll turn the game off. Wake up, do it all over again. But I just felt safe in that little area. And like this is all the time, also the time where I got a job like holding a sign, so I was like learning how to like work and like make some money for myself. And I rode my bike everywhere. I didn't have a car yet. Obviously, I'm like underage. I didn't have a car yet. But I rode my bike everywhere. Rode my bike to school and whatnot. And you know, it was okay, but I just didn't really feel very good. I didn't really feel very good about myself. I just felt like I just felt so alone, man, and it was tough. So, but senior year, I think this is around the time where I started to make some more friends, right? And there's another guy who I met in my PE class named Joseph. I don't know if he's watching this video. Like, he says he watches some of them. But the reason why I like Joseph so much is because, like, he was a real life friend that I was really close, I was close to him. And he showed me, like, what healthy competition is like. Like, I would compete with him a lot. And around this time, like, this is around the time where I started to understand the competitive nature of me. And I started to really like it. I started to really like being like that guy that says, oh, let's go get it. Let's I'll beat you. No, you're going to beat me. I'm going to beat you. I really love that kind of stuff. And also I had another friend named Alex who I played Smash Bros. With. And I was pretty bad at Smash Bros. Not gonna lie, for a long time. Like I played it recreationally, but this is around a time where I started to really crack into my competitive nature, right? So Alex would beat everybody in our friend group, easy. Like he played, I think he played Zero Suit Samus on Smash 4, Zero Suit Samus, and I think that was it. Then he played other characters. Oh, Captain Falcon. He played Zero Suit Samus and Captain Falcon, and he destroyed all of us. Like no one could come close to this guy. Like it was. So like when we played, I'm like, damn, like I can't play this guy. But eventually, that competitive nature inside of me kicked in, and I started to learn more and more about the game. I'm like, okay, I want to win. I want to beat this guy, right? And I played. Who did I play? I played Marth and Ryu, and I was like making sure I'm going to win. And eventually, it got to a point where he still beat me, but he didn't beat me that bad. And like he even said, like, he gave me a compliment. He said like, "Wow, that was actually hard to play. Like you're getting better." And that's when I really unlocked that sense of drive inside of me. That's when it started. When I understood that, hey, I can actually like learn more and I can get better at something. Now, like this is obviously a key point to how I am now. I didn't realize it at the time, but this competitive nature of like wanting to always grow and learn and get better has paid me dividends. Like it's really like, the best thing that's ever happened to me. But around the time where I was in senior year, I started like to feel even more alone though, because like like I told you, my friend online, Nico, we would talk on the game, right? So like let's say I wasn't allowed to play the game during the week, but I would just like be in the PS3 has like the voice chats, right? I was just be in the voice chat like with my little headset on, and then we would just be talking about like anything, like stupid little pictures or whatever. And we were like 16, and my dad would come home and he would hear me talking. And he would just assume that I'm playing the game, so he would turn off the internet, like he would unplug it for the night. And I understood why, like he was doing it, because he didn't want me like to be distracted. I don't know why he did it. Now that I think about it, I don't know why, but he would always turn off the internet. The reason why this like was so like heartbreaking to me is because every time he turned it off, that cut me off from talking to Nico, and he was like a representation of someone who I could go to when I felt like upset. And I didn't really feel connected to anyone in real life like that, like really connected. And every time like the internet got turned off, I'm like, well, I'm alone again. That's what made it hurt so much, and it was pretty unfortunate. So there was that, and yeah, like, at that point I realized that I was like very connected to the internet, and I kind of needed it to be in a good healthy space. Just because like on the outside it wasn't really all that great, okay. But other than that, like we played a lot more video games. I played video games even more. Like I would reject invites out to play video games. So like when Dragon Ball Xenoverse came out, the first one, I was a senior in high school, and boy, my God, when I got that game, I had my bike, and I biked to the CVS so I can get the PS card, and I like put the money into the account, right, so I can like buy Xenoverse. And then I remember this girl asked me. Me and Nico were planning on playing because like we game share, and we were planning on playing the game. Like, Nico, I got the card, I got it, bro, I got it. We're gonna play the game. It's gonna be so cool. And then this girl in the classroom, like she said, hey Jakai, we're gonna go to the arcade on the weekend. Do you want to come with us? And I'm like, no, I'm really busy. I was playing Xenoverse all weekend, bro. I was going to get my Super Saiyan. I was dedicated to getting Super Saiyan. I was dedicated to getting like my Majin character to the best, right? I don't care about nothing else. So like I really just played a whole lot of Xenoverse. But also in senior year is when I decided to get into YouTube. I actually have videos on this channel right now that are privated that I made when I was in YouTube, when I was a senior. But I stopped because I didn't really know what to do like that. And I wasn't good at being consistent. I didn't have good habits like that yet. So I didn't keep going. I completely turned it off. And I just quit. I got like 8 subs off of it, and I was like, I'm done. And I just stopped. But at this point, around like senior year is over, I graduated, and now I'm in the real world. I went from student to unemployed. And I had no job, I had no money. I didn't really know what I was gonna do because school didn't really seem like an option for me. Not because school is stupid, but I don't know what I would want to do. I don't really understand why I would go. and it was like a tough decision to make, but I decided to get a job at Walmart. Oh my god. And this is when I was at my absolute lowest. I was at the lowest point in my entire life when I worked at the store, for a fact. And I'm never going to forget it, cuz like it really did make me up to be like who I am right now, but Jesus, it was just awful, right? So, when I worked at Walmart, it's like the most depressing time of my life, and I would work in the back room. So in the back room, if you guys haven't worked at Walmart or worked at any retail store or whatever, well, I'm talking about Walmart now. But in the back room, there's like a lot of like shelves, and there's like a bunch of boxes up there. And there was two doors for the trucks to back in, and we would unload the trucks like with all like the merchandise. We would separate it and then bring it all to the back room. It was so cramped. It was so cramped, and all the people hated themselves. Everyone hated their job, and everyone was super negative. It made the environment so hard to go to work to. And it was like super frustrating to go every single day. Like over time, I started to deteriorate. I was getting fat. I was getting pudgy. People who went to my school would come to that Walmart, and they're like, "Oh dang, Kai, like you're getting a little bit bigger." And it was so bad, dude. When I would go home, I would get off at like 12 in the morning. Was it 12? Like at 12 or 1 in the morning. And I would play League of Legends for like the next 4 hours, like until like 3, 4 in the morning, desperately trying to recover from the day at work. And just, dude, it was so sad. I was like, Imagine like coming home to play League of Legends, bro. Like, you know how upsetting that game is already, and I would go home and play League of Legends because I wanted to feel a little bit better. But I would go home and I'll play League of Legends, and I would just completely drown my sorrow in bot lane feeding, and then I'll do it all over again the next day. I would wake up at like 1 p.m., and I would leave at like 2 o'clock to get to work at 3, work there all day, and then get off at 12 in the morning, and I would like find some way to get home, right? Like sometimes my mom will pick me up. Sometimes I would like hitch rides, and like a couple times I had a bike home. And like it's 12 in the morning, and like my city at the time was not very well lit. Like there weren't a lot of lights on the road as there are now, so I'll have to bike home sometimes, and like that was rough. But eventually I did get a motorized scooter. And like it was like something that my dad made. Like my dad's really good with like welding and metal work, and he made a motorized scooter for me and my sister to ride. There's 2 of them, and I took one of them and I used that to go to work. And for a long time, I changed the motor on it, and I was having a really hard time trying to figure out how to get it to work again. And it was frustrating getting it to work again. It was super frustrating. And I remember like my mom was helping me try to figure it out, and I got super upset because we were trying to figure it out, and I just didn't know who else to ask. And like I saw in her face too that she was upset that I was upset. And yeah, but I finally got it, and then I took it to work, right? So when I took it to work, and I was in the store working, and this guy came up to me who worked with me, and he said like, "Hey, do you have a brother?" And I'm like, "No, why?" "Oh, because I saw someone walking away with your scooter outside. I thought they were related to you." I'm like, "Are you serious?" So I ran out there. Scooter was stolen. Literally, I put $300 into a new motor so it can run faster, not sputter and stop and whatnot. And someone stole it. Literally 3 days after I got that motor installed. After like trying for like a month or 1 or 2 months trying to figure out how to get this thing installed, someone stole it in 3 days. So I was again without transportation. So I remember my dumbass superior, whoever is, he was a co-manager. No, he was a support manager. I was getting so irritated, and he was saying like, you don't get too irritated, because I'm like, dude, I have no way to get home. What do you mean? Like, I have to figure out how I'm gonna get home now. Like, luckily someone else helped me, but yeah, like there was a lot of like stress that just piled up in that job. And that same higher up, right? He made me realize that this is actually when I think the entrepreneurial mindset started to mold a little bit. Okay, because I would look at him, and I'm like, this guy's an idiot. Like, he was an actual idiot. He would mess up a lot. He would knock stuff over. He would scream and, like, try to motivate people. And he would, like, run around the store, like, trying to, like, get stuff done. But, like, he talked like an idiot. And, like, he did stuff stupid. And then I was thinking, like, wait a minute. Why am I below this guy? This guy's a moron. Like, what on earth? Like, I remember, like, I had a pallet of, like, juice and whatnot, and he would knock it over because he was trying, like, so hard to be quick so he can impress his higher-ups. And I remember another time, the co-manager, who was above the support manager, was on the walkie-talkie, and they told this guy, like, hey, hey, name, the guy's name, get over here and garden now. Run. And this dude ran like a dog. The reason why I was looking at this, and I'm like, it bothered me so much. I'm like, because I'm in a situation where the higher-ups have to listen to people like that. I would be pissed off if someone told me to run. Like am I? I'm not Fido. What the hell? I'm not your dog. I'm not just gonna run because you told me to. And that's when I started to realize that, wait a minute, I don't belong here, because like the kind of people here are like stupid, and two, the higher ups talk down to the ones who are below them, and I'm like, I'm not about that. That's whack. And I start to slowly realize that, okay, this is not where I need to be. Right? Hold on, I'm thirsty. Hold on. I'm talking for 30 minutes straight. But I also met somebody who was into real estate. And like, she was a real estate agent. She picked me up from work when I was driving. Well, not driving. I was walking to the bus stop. And she took me to work. Like, she passed by me. And her car was pretty nice. And I was like, oh, what kind of car is this? I'm like, it's a Honda Accord. Dude, I didn't know anything about cars. But it was like a newer version of Honda Accord. Probably like a 2017, something like that. I don't know. But I was like, huh. Like, what do you do for, like, what else do you do? She's like, oh, I do real estate on the side. And I'm like, what is that? Like, what do you do? Like, what? I've heard of that, but what do real estate agents even do? And then I looked into it myself, and I realized that, like, real estate agents, like, work for themselves. They don't, the common people don't really know how it works, but you are under a branch, but you're essentially responsible for your own business. So you're kind of working for yourself, or you're not really, but you're on your own time. And like, you can make money depending on like what you put out. And I'm like, you can do that? That's possible? You can actually like just like work and make money on your own? Interesting. So that's like when I started to think a lot more about it. I was like watching a lot of real estate videos, a lot of like entrepreneurial videos, and that's when I started to really prioritize bettering myself, right? And that's when I really think like my life started to change, okay? But during the time that I was in Walmart, when I was like still thinking about what I wanted to do, I actually did go to college. I did try to attend college. And I took general ed classes. So basically high school 2.0. And I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. I'm like, why am I here? I was like looking around the class. I'm like, I don't understand what I'm here for. Like, I don't know what I want to major in, bro. Like, I'm not interested in socioeconomic gender studies. I don't care, bro. I don't know what I want from here, so why would I come here? But I thought that's the thing to do, so I went and did it. Again, I'm not saying college is bad, but I had no purpose there. I didn't know why I was there. So I was in college, and I was like feeling so much more alone in there than I did by myself again, right? I already felt like outcasted again. But then I would come to college. I didn't know anybody, so I'm like, I don't know how to make friends, and I don't relate to people here, and I just felt like such a shut-in. It was just so rough for me, right? And since I felt like so unhappy at that school, I decided to switch. So like, there was multiple colleges in our district, right? I went to the one that's a little bit farther from me. I'm like, okay, maybe something better is gonna happen here. Parking was so stupid, by the way. Like, it was so hard to get any kind of parking at all. I was late to my classes a couple times, but, you know, assuming I did get parking, I would walk around the campus. It's 4 times the size. There's more people, and I felt like, wow, this is whack. Like, this is even worse than the first time. So, I would go to my, my math class, and I don't like math that much. Like, I'm okay with numbers, but I don't like math. I don't like algebra. I don't like Pythagorean theorem. I don't care about that kind of stuff, bro. I think it's so stupid. And I was doing my math homework, and one day I was on call with Nico, right? And I was doing my homework on my computer. Where was I? I was probably like facing this way. My computer was facing this way. And I was like silent for like 20 minutes. And then he was like, dude, are you okay? Like, I wasn't talking. And I was doing the homework. I wasn't talking. And then I got so angry because I didn't understand the homework at all. And then I started thinking about my whole life. I'm like, dude, I hate this. And I legit, like threw something. I had something on my desk and I threw it. And I was like, dude, I hate this. Like, this is so stupid. And I shut down everything. I didn't finish my homework. And I didn't go back to class. But that was the last day I went back. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But this, I hate this so much. Like, it's so frustrating, right? And also, the original college I went, I failed my physics class. Like, I didn't go to my final, so I failed my physics class. So I got like a bad grade in that. The only class that I passed was English, but I'm like, that's not hard. You just like read books and like do make summaries and junk. But you know, all during this, I was still going to my Walmart job. So like everything was just like piling on top of each other. I'm so tired of life. And the thing is, that real estate bug was planted in my head, but it didn't really sprout yet. Like the seed didn't sprout yet. So I didn't really understand like what else to do. But I still worked at that job, and I said, I need to get out of here. Like I'm so done with this. Like I feel like trash. Like I hate myself. Like I go to school and I don't even like it. I need to go somewhere else. So eventually I found another job after looking desperately. I found another job, and it was actually at Budweiser. So you know what Budweiser is, like the company that like provides Bud Light beer. And I had the position as a merchandiser. So like a merchandiser is basically someone who goes into the stores and they put the beer and like the drinks into the fridges so you can buy it, right? I was the guy that went to the back, got the beer, like wrote down what I needed, and I put it in there, okay? And I had to clock in at 5 o'clock. This job was an hour away, but I didn't care what it was. I'm like, I just want to get out of Walmart. I'll take anything. So I found a job that's like an hour away. I left at 3 in the morning. No. I woke up at 3 in the morning, left at 4 to get there at 5. And a couple times, like, my tire popped. A couple times I had to call out because, like, I woke up late and I was super sleepy. And, like, after I get home, I would get off at, like, 4:30, be in traffic for 2 hours, and then, like, get home, immediately go to sleep, and then oversleep the next day, and then, like, be late. So I have to tell my boss again that I'm not going to make it because I'm late. And like they're obviously getting tired of me. Like I already know they were getting tired of me. But around this time, this is when I started my real estate school. See, the thing is, I was super like depressed all the time, but I finally like made the jump to try to go for real estate. And I was like taking my real estate courses, and I was still trying to get to this job, and I wasn't like happy with it. It was like okay. Like I would get in the van, I'll drive around and go to different stores, and I would like blast music, and actually, if I believe I have a video of it. I'll put the video here if I can find it. But I have a video of me in the van, like just blasting the music away, right? And it was okay, but then I eventually got fired. So I know they didn't like me, right? So like they found like the first mistake. They found like one mistake, saying like, oh, you didn't do this that good, you're fired, right? They wanted to get rid of me as fast as they could, and I was still in real estate school, so I didn't have any backup plans. And I'm like, I just got in my car, drove away. I wasn't really in pain or anything. I didn't really say much, but I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad that I got fired. That's what I was thinking. Because now I don't have to get up so goddamn early to come over here to do this job, right? So I'm like, I'm okay with that. But now, like, when I got home, this is like when I started to really dip into like entrepreneurial ventures and whatnot. I got home and I immediately started learning about anything I could. I was like learning about real estate. I was learning about like stock trading. Like actually, so like I bought a book on how to day trade for a living. See that? Like I was serious about this. I was reading this book and I'm like, okay. So I was learning about like candlesticks, stop loss, how to reduce your risk, bullish market, bear market. I was learning about all that stuff because I wanted to make sure I want to make something out of myself. I don't know how. And like that, me getting fired, like put a fire under me. Put a fire on me. But I need to do something. So I was learning about like stock trading for a while. Like I was on Thinkorswim. No, what's it called? Thinkorswim. There you go. I was on Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, learning all about stock trading, learning all about like the stock market in general. Like I wanted to know how to do this kind of stuff. Of course, I didn't like stick with it because like day trading, I'm like, no, not interested. But I'm like, I just want to know something. But like while I got fired, I was unemployed for a couple months. I got another job at a different warehouse. I was like around the corner. So I was like, okay, that's great. You know, I work at this job now, and it's close. You know, that's cool. I still had to get up stupid early, right? I had to be there at like 5 o'clock, which was still early as hell. But it was like right up the street, so it wasn't that bad. And it was, I believe, 3 or 4 days a week and 12-hour shifts each. So it was kind of taxing. I was not used to working 12 hours straight, and I had to do that like a few days in a row. And also, like, I didn't have any money, so like sometimes I would like go to work and I'd be hungry. Like I didn't have enough money to buy food for lunch. Yeah, so I didn't have enough money to buy food for lunch, and I'll be either hungry for like all day, and then I would get home and eat something like some little food that I had in my fridge, right? But on my breaks, I'll be watching all kinds of real estate videos. Like I'll be making sure that I'm studying. I want to know as much as I can because like I was still taking those courses, right? And I'm like, I want to learn how to do this. And that's when I became like a real estate. Well, not yet, but I was still learning how to become a real estate agent. But then after like a month or two, something like that, I got fired again. So they called me on my phone, and they called me, and they said, "Oh, they ended your assignment because like you were on your phone or something like that." So I'm like, "Are you serious, bro?" So like I lost another job, right? And I was still like taking my real estate courses. I mean, that's still something that I had. And then eventually I got at another warehouse job. Like, if you haven't caught this by now, I was job hopping for a long time because I had no direction. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I got a job at another warehouse while I was still taking my courses. Like it took me like a year to finish it. So I went through like 3 jobs in a year, right? 3 or 4, something like that. But this was another warehouse job, and it was better than the 12-hour one, but it was still trash because like the positions were kind of whack. And this is like when I started to really understand that, oh my god, I need something different. I need it for myself, right? Because man, when I went to this job, everyone like didn't like each other. Like everyone was like talking smack to each other. Everyone complained, and you have no idea how many people were cheating on their partners. You have no idea. Like there are guys who were married. They had rings on. And then I would see them go and talk to the other girls because like the guys and the girls like worked pretty close to each other. Like we will constantly pass by each other like in our little work area. So there's gonna be a lot of flirting. And like there are guys who are married. I see them like flirting with them, and they would tell me, oh yeah, like we smashed last night, and I'm like, oh, and in my head I'm like, you're married, like what, like it was so common. Like, there are girls, like, in a different section who would come over to our section sometimes. Most of them were thoughts, basically, but they would come over. They had boyfriends. You would see them sometimes. But then when she would come over by herself, like, she would talk to, like, some of the guys in our area, and they would get together. I'm like, wow, dude. Like, the quality here is awful, awful, awful. And then I also met other people who were super content with being there. And that kind of scared me, not gonna lie. So, like, there was one guy who's talked about the job, and he said, oh yeah, I got it made here. And I'm like, what? Huh? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you got it made here? Like, this is like your end goal? And I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know like what else there was out there, but I knew this wasn't it. And I'm like, this is your end goal? Like, bro, for real? I almost fought a coworker there too. Like he was like threatening me, and like we were fighting each other. Like I was talking about him, he was talking about me. Like we would stare each other down while we were working. Dude, it was like super toxic, bro. And then eventually, I went to go take my test. Cause like the way that the California Bureau of Real Estate, there we go. I think that's what it is. The way that works is that when you finish your courses, you have to apply to take the state test, right? So, like, you have to send in your application, and then it takes, like, 6-8 something weeks, like that, for it to process, and then you're ready to go. You have the option to take the test. So, I went to go take it, right? The first time, I was, like, studying, and I was, like, really cramming as much as I could. I was studying, like, hard, because I wanted to pass it. You guys have no idea how much drive I had to move on. Like, I want something better for myself. So I was like making sure I got this, right? And it lived, or the test was like an hour, 20-ish minutes away from me. So I was like listening to like flashcards on the way there. Like I was like watching the videos, like saying, okay, this is how much feet are in an acre, whatever, that kind of stuff, like stuff for real estate on the way there. And the first time I took it, I failed. I failed by like 2 points. So I was like, dang. Okay, that's fine. I got in the car. I bought my retest. I rescheduled for 2 days later. And then I was like studying the way. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And then the second time, I failed. I'm like, huh. So I called off of work to take that test, right? Because I was so sure I was going to pass it. Like, at this point, I think, like I said, the entrepreneurship mindset was like ingrained into me. Because I was like calling off of work. Like, the more I called off of work, the more likely I was going to get fired, right? And I called off multiple times to go take this test. And then I failed the first time I called off, and I failed. The second time I called off again, and I failed the test. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to lose my job because I'm trying to pass this test. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I think I failed by like 4 points this time. Like I'm this close. And then I scheduled again for the next week, and I went to the same location 3 times. I called off of work again so I could take the test, and then I got my paper and I got in the car and I failed again. And you have no idea how much that destroyed me. It destroyed me because I was busting my ass studying. You have no idea. And the thing is, it wasn't just the fact that I failed. It's the fact that I had to go back to the warehouse again and again and again. Every time I failed was another week I had to stay there. And it was super, 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 super depressing. It destroyed me. So I sat in my car, like right outside the testing site, and I cried for an hour and a half. I was in there like devastated because I could not. Because I was thinking, if I can't pass this test, how the hell am I going to make it as an agent, right? And if I can't pass this test, where else am I going to go? I'm going to work at warehouses for the rest of my life because I can't pass this. And again, like I said, I was very new to all of this. I was very new to all of like the entrepreneurship kind of stuff, right? So I thought this was the way. I'm like, what else am I going to do? I don't know what else there is. I don't know. And I put so much time into it, and I'm like, I failed again. So after an hour and a half, I had to talk myself up. Like, literally, I was heavy to pick up, bro. I had to really pick myself up to try again. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to try a different testing site. Maybe this one's cursed. Maybe this one doesn't like me that much. So I'm going to go somewhere else. And I did. And then I took the test. I called off again. And I passed. I finally passed that time. So, the thing is, I didn't like jump up and down or anything, but I was like relieved. I'm like, finally, dang. I don't have to like deal with this anymore. Like, mentally it was like destroying me, right? It's kind of like playing League of Legends. Like, you lose a million times and you hate yourself, but you win that one time, you're like, alright, cool. That's alright, I guess. So, yeah, I was learning like about real estate now, so I was like, that's gonna be my new venture. I've been talking for an hour. God dang. So, at this point, I stayed at the warehouse for like another day or two, and then I quit. I didn't have any income for anything else. I just quit. I'm like, bye. I'm done. I'm done with this. And I was looking for a real estate company to work under, and I was learning about sales and like cold calling and door knocking and stuff like that. If you guys have ever door knocked or cold called, it sucks. It's not very fun at all. Because like you get on someone's phone and like they're like, "Oh, who are you? Why are you talking to me?" And I got hung up on a million times, right? And like there was a guy there who helped me like learn about like the real estate business, and then like he was giving me tools and whatnot to learn, and I was trying. I was genuinely trying my best, and I couldn't really get as much as like he expected me to. So we had this dialer called the Red X. So it's a dialer that you use to call prospects, and it will call them automatically, right? So I would get on there every single day. I'm like, I'm gonna make something happen, right? And then one day, I couldn't log in. I'm like, what's going on here? That guy who was my mentor cut me off. And he didn't tell me. So he changed the password. I couldn't get in anymore. And I'm like, I don't know how to get leads now. I don't know what to do. And like, I was door knocking, but I'm like, I didn't really do it that well. So I was like, I don't know what else. And then he also switched offices, so I never saw him again. And I'm like, damn, that's tough. So like, again, I was like on my own. But, it is what it is. That's how it's supposed to go. But still, my mental health made it really hard for me to keep going too, because I just didn't really believe in myself that much, and I portrayed that. Of course, I still had the ambition and the drive to do it, but I didn't have the belief in myself to do it well. That makes sense? So I could go out there and go door knocking, but I couldn't get myself to perform like I should have. So that made it hard for me to perform. Of course, I did get sales when I was a real estate agent, but it was really, really hard. It was really, 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 really hard. And then I would go to like these real estate meetups, and I would try to meet more people so I can like get more acquainted with the real estate business and whatnot. And I eventually met this woman named Tessie. Like, she is my mentor. She was basically my second mom for a while, right? And she became the person who I went to for help. And she like mentored me in real estate and in life, period. And she helped me boost my confidence a lot. I doubt that she's watching it, but if she is watching, like, I really do appreciate her. Like Tessie was awesome to me. Like, she was a God sent. Like, someone who really helped me figure out what I needed to do, right? And it was awesome, right? But this is around a time where COVID hit then, and then it made it kind of hard to continue real estate practices and meetups. For me, at least. Like, there are other agents who could still thrive in that situation, but for me, I was so new. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to do anything that well. So, like, yeah, COVID made it hard for me. And that's when I stopped practicing being an agent. And so I was like, well, I got to find something else. So, what do I got? I wasn't working for a while, and I was, like, just doing DoorDash. Like, just kind of just working on my own, just chilling. And I eventually started to think to myself, I was sitting in this seat, actually, like this very seat, and I was staring at my computer, and I was thinking, like, what else is there for me to do? Like, I'm like, here I am again, trying to figure out what else to do. I tried every business under the sun. You have no clue. I tried like real estate wholesaling. I tried like being a leasing agent. I tried drop shipping. I tried like freaking like stock trading. I tried, flipping stuff that I would find from Goodwill. I would like go to Goodwill and I'll buy some like cheap ass cup for like $2, and I would try to flip it on eBay for, I don't know how much, like maybe like $5, something like that. I didn't know anything, bro. But I was like, I need to figure something out. And I was like flipping stuff, like garbage that no one wants, right? I would get some sales here and there. At one point, I even like started to sell like my belongings that I had no money. I'm like, I need something. And I was like selling I sold my Wii U, I sold my GameCube, I sold like a bunch of clothes, I sold like some other stuff. I sold my Elgato, like the thing that I used to make those YouTube videos. I would have loved to keep that thing, but I sold it because I needed money for gas and food, and like your boy's hungry. And yeah, it was kind of tough, and I was like trying all these businesses, nothing was working. So I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like I'm just so like just lost. It's like tough. And then I was even coding, bro. I was even learning how to code. And then I'm thinking, I don't know what these buttons mean. Like, I can barely spell my own name. Like, you think I'm gonna be able to like write the next Apple? Nah, bro. Like that's not gonna happen. So I was like trying everything I could. The thing is, these taught me a lot of great skills, but again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I'm like, this ain't gonna work. So I need to go find something else. And then Tessie, she gave me the suggestion that I should like take like a career test. I'm like, what, a career test? Like, what? Why? Why would I do that? And then I figured out more about myself, right? So at this point, I have an idea that I want to be an entrepreneur. I know that I want to do something for myself. And then the test that she gave me, it gave me 3 results. It said that my top one result was art. So like I'm very artistic. Like I like to draw a lot. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid, and I drew all the way up until I was like a senior. Because like Walmart basically killed the the idea to want to draw anything. I had no, the creativity was sapped out of me, right? But for a long time, I was like very creative. So I would draw and I would like do stuff like that. So it says I'm a creative person. So that means that my, whatever I do needs to be expressive in some kind of way. Okay, interesting. The second one was education. So that means I should be teaching somebody. I'm like, oh, I do like to teach. I do like to teach people how to do something when I learn how to do it. So I'm like, okay, interesting. And then the third one was vocational trades. Meaning, a vocation is like something that you will go after that's not needed to go to college for. So let's say, for example, a trade would be like plumbing, electrician, that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I need to go. This obviously knows I need to go do something for me. It knows that I'm not college bound. Like I'm a dumbass. So it's not gonna work for me. And it made sense. I'm like, I didn't like going to college like that, but I do want some kind of certificate or career or whatever that I can get for myself that doesn't take 4 years and $100,000 in student loans. And I'm like, okay, what I need that's creative lets me teach people and is like a vocation of some kind. So I found something that checked off 2 boxes, and it's personal training. So that means I can teach people, and it's a vocation that's mine. So this certificate is mine, right? And then I'm like, well, I can be a personal trainer. I've always wanted to do that, so maybe. And it can also be creative because there are plenty of ways in the gym that I'm creative with what I do. So that I'm like, this might be the thing that I need for now, right? And then I started thinking about YouTube again. Like I wanted to try again. And I was going to work at like this other warehouse while I was trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to do in my life, right? And then I was going there and I started my YouTube channel for the first time. Like I was 23 years old and I went home. I was thinking about it like every day. I'm thinking, you know what? I don't know what to post, but I'm just going to post something. And you guys can see the first video that I made. It's like I said that I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to get the ball rolling, right? So I started a YouTube channel and I was working at that gym or at that warehouse. And then I was also working for my personal training certificate. And yeah, that's like when I started to really go after something that I really cared about. Of course, like there's a lot of hardships and whatnot, but eventually I still did it. The people at that warehouse are obviously like, most of them were trash too. Like they just like were just drug addicts who wanted to drink all the time, right? But I went to this warehouse in a much, much, much better mindset because it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm stuck here. This time I already had a plan before I walked in. I knew I wasn't going to be here for that long. I was there for like 3-4 months, something like that. There were 3-4 months, and I was like taking my my personal training courses when I got home. And also I make like a YouTube video. So that was like me putting in like blocks to get better to what I wanted to be. And I was like the happiest guy at that warehouse. Not because I was just like always happy, but the fact that I had a plan gave me a stronger sense of self. And that is like, man, that is very priceless. Very priceless. And so eventually I took the test. And the thing is, this is something that I actually knew. Like I knew how to lift, right? So I took the personal training test and I passed the first try. That was easy. And then I was still at that warehouse. And I was thinking, I was there for like another week or 2 after that. And I'm like, what the hell am I still doing here? Why? Keep in mind, this was COVID, right? So all the gyms were shut down. I'm like, why am I still here? I'm going to go find a job, right? I'm going to find a job at a different gym. And then the person I was with at the time, like she said, oh, I don't think you should quit because all the gyms are closed. And I'm like, I'm going to find a gym in this bitch. I'm going to find something, right? Most of them are closed, but something is open. I know it. I can smell it I can feel it in my loins, right? So that's what I did. I applied to 5 gyms, and I got rejected by all of them. The first, I went to like 3 Fitness 19s, I went to a Crunch, and I went to a 24-hour fitness. They all rejected me, right? And I'm like, God dang! Like why am I always like getting like rejected from the stuff that I want to do? But again, these are events that built up my resilience. So like you guys already know that I'm super competitive and I'm super driven already. Like that was already like a given because I had such garbage times growing up, right? Of course, like the outside wasn't bad, but you know what I'm talking about. Like mentally, it was bad. So I'm like, I'm gonna find something. Like someone is going to take me, and eventually I did find a job, and I work at that gym to this day, right? And I've been working on the channel consistently from there to this day, and I've learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about like how to meditate, how to journal, how to like how to improve in the channel. Everything that I've done from like when I was like 18 to now has compounded and got me to where I am today. Okay, I'm so grateful and happy for like the kind of person that I am right now. Like I'm super upbeat and always energetic. That there's no way I could have succeeded in any of those past ventures with the mindset that I had. But all of those failures built up and it gave me the resilience that I need to do this. Do you know how many times I've been on this channel? I'm like, dang, I'm not going anywhere with this. Right? Again, this channel isn't huge or anything. But I just felt like I'm kind of wasting my time. But all the things that I did, I was like, I'm going to make something happen. Like something's gonna come from this. And now I have like a small Discord who I talk to like on the regular, and I have people engaging in the channel. When I first started, I think the first 4 months, I got like 2 subs, like 1 or 2 subs, something like that. It was a really slow, painful kind of process, but over time I still got some people, like there are some people on the channel now, it's not huge, obviously, but that if I gave up, then I wouldn't have been able to be here. I'm so grateful for this Discord too, because the people that I talk to are awesome in here. So yeah, that is what's led me here. And like all the other times I was still lifting, I was still like weight training and like getting my body right and whatnot. And I was still a little chubby. The thing is, I was chubby when I became a personal trainer, because like, if I let myself go, I'll get fat super fast. But I didn't let that stop me. I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyway, right? But I was still training. I was still like making sure that I was like in good shape and whatnot, and I was still going to the gym every single day. I even after like I worked at Budweiser, I would come home and like run on the treadmill in like my steel toe boots, because I still want to get something done. But then yeah, I thought I was being consistent. I didn't really talk about the gym that much, but yeah, I would go to the gym, right? And I would still go to the gym like after work at all the warehouses that I worked at. I'm like I still want to get something done for myself. So yeah. If I miss anything, it sucks. I might have missed some stuff, but yeah, that's basically a synopsis of my life up to now. So if you guys enjoyed, please let me know and join my Discord. There'll be a link in the description. All right. So thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. I appreciate you, but my throat is killing me, so I am done with this one. All right, deuces.